Hello. I'm here to tell you today why this is a great time to take up DJing. Yes, you should learn to DJ right now. In fact, I don't think there's ever been a better time. So this is a live show from Digital DJ Tips. That means that we want you to join in, and that means that if you're watching live, then tune in now, settle back. We're going to run our 30-second intro and then get straight to today's topic. I'll see you in 30 seconds. Welcome to the show. So today's show was inspired by one of our community members, a guy called Felix. So Felix, thank you very much for giving us the idea for this show today, who posted something in one of our student communities here at Digital DJ Tips here at the school. And he was talking about why he believes now is the best time to take up DJing. And so we had a read of his list. We kind of nodded away vigorously and we're like, yep, brilliant, nice one, Felix. And then we opened our Black Friday sale a couple of days ago, and at Black Friday sale time, we have loads of new people on our courses and loads of people who are thinking about buying our courses coming into our, it's called Intercom. It's like a chat system, so we can kind of help them. And the number of people with questions around this, should I start? Am I too old? Is this the right time? Have I missed the boat? Etc, etc. So all those things came together and made me think this would be a great topic for our live show. This is a live show, as I said at the beginning. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday in college term time. So that's about 36 weeks of the year we're live here, not only on a Thursday but also on a Tuesday. This is the Thursday show, of course. I sometimes lose track of what day it is. Right, so I've got 5 reasons for you now why now is the perfect time to take up DJing, and thank you, Felix, for inspiring some of these. So the first one, and this was one of Felix's, I love this, the legends from back in the day are often still out there and doing it, and some of them are still even available to you as tutors. So look, think back to what we call the kind of ground zero, right? The late 80s, early 90s, when proper mixing with proper decks and proper parties of the type that we all grew up with began, right? We were there, and they inspired me to go into this whole profession for the rest of my life. And not only me, right? It was an amazing time. But a lot of the names from back then are still doing it now. Jazzy Jeff, Fatboy Slim, Carl Cox, Q-Bert. These people are not only out there, but you can actually learn from some of them. We've got Jazzy Jeff, of course, here as one of our tutors who teaches how he does it. I mean, look, what an opportunity. Not only can you learn to DJ now with kind of the inspiration of these people, but they're still around. This isn't going to be, it's not going to be like that forever. They're going to retire. They're not going to be involved in this scene, but they are right now here today with all that lifetime of experience that some of them will generously pass on to you. I mean, Jazzy Jeff's course is an absolute, it's incredible what he shares in that course, just to give one example. But there's other names I just named who also teach DJing. So look, the fact that you can learn off legends right here, right now, who were there back in the day, I just think is mind-blowing, right? So that's our first reason. The legends are still doing it and you can learn off them. Great time to start DJing for that reason alone. You can head off and buy a DJ course now. Do what you want to do. You don't need any other ideas, but I've got 4 more big ones for you here. Right, the second one, again, this is Felix. Thank you for this, because you put a twist on this that we haven't put on ourselves. The second one is this. The big leap forward in technology has happened when it comes to DJing. DJing was always done on record decks, right? It was. With these. That's what it was. That's what DJing was for decades and decades and decades. There was no talk. The way we teach DJing here is 5 things: gear, music, techniques, playing out, and promoting yourself. Gear is the geeky stuff. The geeky stuff in my day didn't change. There were always 2 techniques. There was always a mixer. It just nothing changed. The gear, once you figured it out, that was it, done. You had all your time to concentrate on the other things, the music and the techniques and the performing, and etc. But for the last decade, the gear has moved so fast. The developments have been incredible. I mean, just think, CDs, just the arrival of looping You could loop the end of a song on these things here, and then you could mix over it for as long as you wanted. I remember the first time I heard someone loop, it was a DJ called Lee Burridge. I booked him to play in my club, and he looped, and I was like, that's cheating. That's brilliant. It took me about 10 seconds for my mind to think, oh my God, that means you can do this and this and this and this. Looping, just one feature. And then they kept coming and coming and coming. The switch away from CDs to digital music, which meant there was a whole new way of getting music. The switch towards having key and beat analysis, so you didn't have to worry about manual beat mixing, and you could suddenly mix and mash things up with each other across different musical keys and have them sound amazing. The ability just recently to have real-time separation of vocals from drums, from melodies, from bass lines, so you can now get any a cappella you want to DJ with. All this stuff, bang, 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 has happened. Software arriving, allowing you to DJ with just your laptop. I remember when software first arrived, it's 2004, I had a very early version of Virtual DJ. It used to be called Atomics DJ, and they renamed it Virtual DJ. And I had a very early version, and I had a tiny little Hercules DJ controller that my friend who ran a DJ magazine had sent me. He'd like been sent it by Hercules, and he's like, well, I don't know what to do with it. You have a look, Phil. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I DJ'd on this little thing, this tiny little box with rubber buttons. I DJ'd in my club on it. You can imagine the queue of people at the DJ booth wondering what the hell I was doing. But it was horrible. This controller was horrible. So I figured out how to do it all on my laptop. I got a really high quality audio interface, plugged it into the slot on the laptop, and I figured out how to DJ with just the keyboard. And I was doing that for a little while, just for the hell of it. I remember when digital DJing arrived, when all of this arrived, but then it developed very quickly. And nowadays, of course, we've got stuff like this. We've got incredible DJ units that can work with software or that can work standalone, that have got pretty much all the features I was just talking about on them. The big leap in technology, though, has pretty much happened. Things that it's about refinement now. Stuff is slowed down. When we started Digital DJ Tips 13 years ago, we were literally reviewing new stuff every week. Our whole growth was grown on the fact that there was all this new gear and that we understood it and we wanted to share it, because we had one foot in the old way, right? So we knew where it was coming from, and we could relate to it all, and we could also share where it was going. That's how this whole, well, first it was a website before it was a school. Of course, we're a school now, but that's how it all started for us. So I've seen it, and I've seen, you would turn up at the music fairs, you turn up at Music Messe in Frankfurt, and you turn up at NAMM over there in LA, and you turn up at the BPM show in Birmingham in the UK, and it would just be new gear, new ideas. And it slowed down. It slowed right down. Now it's kind of stabilized, and it's refinement. Pretty much anything new that's launched by a big manufacturer, is going to be around for half a decade minimum. And so now is a brilliant time to get on board, because the big stuff has happened. And so you can be pretty sure that you're learning the way it's going to be done for the foreseeable future right now. Whereas if you did that 5 years ago, everything was still changing, right? You needed to be committed. So the big leaps happened. It's safe to learn, but there's also loads to learn, which is exciting. Of course, it can be a bit daunting, but it shouldn't be. We're here to help with stuff like that. So it's an exciting time to learn. The big leaps happened. There's all this new stuff to learn, and it's all kind of mature now. It's not Wild West. It all works. It's all cool. It's all pretty amazing. So it's a good time to learn tech-wise. It's never been easier to start DJing. This is our third point. In all areas, the music's easier to get than ever. The gear is incredible. The gear helps you so much. You can go and spend $300 on something like this. This is the Pioneer DJ Flex 4. Works with all software, works with your iPhone, works with your iPad. It is an incredible little piece of kit. Pro DJs love these, by the way. James Hype, our tutor, DJs on this for fun when he's not playing festivals all over the world. He's not the only one. Pro DJs know that this is an awesome piece of kit to have at home and for practicing and so on. $300. That's it. You're in. When I got my first decks were really cheap rubbish. In fact, I've got a picture of me here on my very first decks. There I am. Those decks were belt drive, and they were pretty damn rubbish. In fact, they were completely rubbish. And then I was lucky enough to finally get enough money. It took about 5 years to buy a pair of Technics turntables and a good mixer. It was the Pioneer DJM 600, the precursor to the mixer I've actually got here. This is well, many generations further on, but basically the DJM A9 is laid out pretty similarly to the DJM 600 from when I was at the height of my pro DJing, you know, 15 years ago, which just goes to show how little things have really changed. And so the gear now is absolutely incredible. For the price, for what you pay, you can get the most amazing systems. And you know, the DJ app on your phone does 100 times more than a pair of Technics and a mixer. So look, just the fact that it's never been easier to get the music and the gear, and it's never been easier to actually do it, because the things like the sync button and key sync and waveforms and all that stuff, don't let anyone tell you it's cheating, don't let anyone tell you it's not real DJing. They're there to help you make a great sound quickly. What you do with that is up to you. There's where the skill is. The skill is not in like a monkey saying, is that too fast? No. Is it 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 too fast? No. Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, that's not DJing. I'm sorry, that is not DJing. That is getting 2 songs to the same speed. I know a lot of people who can DJ. I know a lot of people who can get 2 songs to the same speed on a turntable. And trust me, they're rubbish DJs because they're boring and they don't understand any of the other stuff about it. You don't need to be able to do that to be a good DJ. It's helpful, but it's not what DJing is about. So look, all the tools in DJ gear now are there to help you. And it's amazing. It's an amazing, amazing time to learn DJing for the ease of getting into it, right? So there's also incredible, and we've already touched on it in the first, where the legends are still doing it, but some of them are teaching. It's an amazing time to learn DJing because there's amazing learning resources out there. The first base, right? Your starting point, YouTube, incredible, amazing. If you want, like, for instance, I've just finished a tutorial on this piece of gear here, the Opus Quad. We put on YouTube, Digital DJ Tips puts out free training tutorials on all the major pro gear. So we've got it on the Opus Quad, we've got it on the other Pioneer gear like the XDJ RX3 and the XDJ XZ or XZ. We've got it on the CDJs and the DJMs, this kind of setup here. We also got it on Denon DJ's Prime 4 and Prime Go. So we like to put out these training tutorials. They're called training tutorials and video manuals. We like to put them out on YouTube on all the big pro gear because we want our users, when they come to our DJ courses, to understand their gear properly. We don't want to spend all the time in our DJ courses teaching them what a knob does or a button does or why this wasn't working, how they thought or whatever. We want them to know that when they arrive at our door. So we put this stuff out. We've got about 12, 13 hours of this training. The one I've just finished on this, which is actually going to go live tomorrow on YouTube, so look out for it, is nearly 2 hours long. I've literally gone through everything. I've gone through everything on the screen. In fact, all the screens, because it's got loads of screens. I've gone through everything around the back of it. So I teach exactly how to plug everything in and how it all works. I teach about how the software works, the whole lot. I mean, it's a 2-hour tutorial. It's taken our team and me a long time to put it together. We just do it because we want to get stuff out there to help people get. You know, you're unboxing everything and you think, oh my God. Oh my God. And we don't want you to stop there. We don't want that to end up under the bed. We want you to get inspired. We want you to understand it. We want you to realize that you can do this, right? So that's why we do that. They're called video manuals and training tutorials. All you got to do is go to YouTube and type in the model of gear you've got. It's only on the pro gear, by the way. By pro gear, I mean the kind of bigger stuff. Go to YouTube, type in, for instance, Opus Quad as of tomorrow, and then video manual, and will be the top result. And so we do that because we want you to have that stuff. But the point is, there's an awful lot of great training out there. And not only that, of course, but paid for training. We are the biggest online DJ school. We've got 27 DJ courses. And so we're just one example of the many out there where you can get training if you're looking for it. When I learned, I spent 5 years there trying my hardest. I think I took up DJing professionally, like full time, when my boss marched me into his office at 9:05 in the morning and said, Phil, it's DJing or journalism. I was a journalist at the time. It can't be both. It was like about the 15th time I'd been late that year. Only 5 minutes late. And I said, look, you just given me a choice there. And you know what? I'm going for it. I'm going for DJing, and I never regretted it. So, you know, I took up DJing. That was 93. It took me till 99 to actually be good at it. 6, 7 years of just five nights a week. And I learned it all myself. There was no one to teach me. There was no YouTube. There was no online manuals. There's nothing. I just learned it all myself. I learned it all. In the end, I learned the most by one, playing out, because playing out is where you learn everything, and two, booking DJs and watching what they did. That's how I learned. But you don't need to do that anymore, right? What a great time to learn DJing. There's amazing learning resources out there, both free and paid for. And finally, and I think this is the most profound reason here, honestly I do, DJing is bigger than nightclubs. We only had nightclubs or illegal raves in fields, but that's another story. That was it. That's the only place we had to do it. And I mean, they were the Holy Grail. We started our own nightclub because basically we couldn't get booked by anyone else in theirs. That's how I got established. But you don't have to do that now. DJing is so much bigger than clubs now. You can live stream your sets. You can make amazing sounding mixes and you can share them with the world and build an audience doing that. You can play in so many more places because the gear is smaller and it's easier and it's lighter and it's cheaper and DJing is more accepted. So there's so many more places, literally from the little local bar on your corner, lounges, beach bars, barbecues, down the beach, wherever. There's so many places to play now. What sporting event doesn't have a DJ tucked away somewhere? It's just like the chances for DJing are so big. You can play parties, you can play private parties, just play for your family. There's so many places to DJ now. So you don't need to be a 21-year-old who's completely crazy about doing this for a career, as I was, to do it and enjoy it nowadays. You can be any age and you can be doing it for any reason, just for yourself. And so, look, you ain't going to get rich doing this. 99 out of 100 people watching this aren't going to make anything more than, you know, enough money to pay for their gear and to pay for their hobby out of it. You're not. But let me tell you something, you never were. There was never a golden age where everyone who took this up made loads of money from it. There wasn't, just trust me on that. I was there. And people say things like, oh, you know, there's no skill in DJing anymore, and you know the market's getting flooded, and there's too many DJs playing for free, and they are never the enthusiasts. They're never the people who truly love this. They're the people who love how it used to be at some point in the past that they can't get back to. I'm sorry, but it's true. Don't let that kind of talk put you off, and you'll hear a lot of that kind of talk out there. If you want to DJ, it's not easy to be a pro, but it's easy to get an awful lot of enjoyment from it. Just think of it this way. If you want to take up guitar or drums or piano, keyboards, you want to learn to produce, you know you're not going to be the next Carl Cox or James Hype or Jazzy Jeff or whatever. You know that. It's not going to stop you having fun doing it. It's not going to stop you enjoying it. And if you spent your whole life so far thinking, I really want to do that, I really want to do that, I really want to do that, then, you know, to quote a classic saying, it's better to regret something you have done than to regret something you haven't done. So have a go, please have a go. There literally has never been a better time to take up this amazing hobby of ours. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, but it's a Thursday, and those of you who are regulars will know that Thursday is the day when we throw open the lines, so to speak. I'll move my water out of the way. And the reason I'm moving my water out of the way is so I can bring in my laptop, because on here I have all your comments coming through from YouTube, Facebook, and from Twitch. So let's chat. However, before we do, let me just remind you that now our Black Friday sale is on of all our courses. If you do want to take up DJ now, it's a great time for another reason, because all our courses are up to 45% off. Just go to digitaldjtips.com, click on the banner, and you can look at everything we've got with this very useful little device that will let you sort by what you want, the kind of software you're using, etc, 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 and everything will pop up, and then you can drill in and have a look. And I do recommend taking a look at our new How to Play with Acapellas and Stems course, because it's new and it's in the sale for the first time ever. Anyway, over to you. I want to chat to you now for the rest of our time together today. So welcome everyone, it's lovely to be here. It's always nice to be here. And let's see what you've got to say. Hello to our regulars, the Ruckus, Kesha, Isomatic, Leon. Hello to Jonathan on YouTube. Hello to John, Javaman Sanchez on Facebook. Hello Javaman Sanchez. Hello to Kesha, Papa D, Leon. As always, so nice to see so many of our regulars, and apologies to all of those of you who I haven't named. Graham says, I'm 67 years young, radio DJ for the last 4 years, and that is all thanks to your complete DJ course. Thank you very much, Graham. I hope you're enjoying your radio DJing, and there's another good example, right? You don't need to be a club DJ to learn DJing. There's so many different places that you can do it. Hello to Dr. Clara, not seen you for a while on Twitch. I'm just managing to connect from Dubai. So hello over there in the Middle East. So this is from Jillo Bird. Where do you see the advancements in DJing going from here? Really interesting question. And I'm going to answer it, and you can probably know what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is AI. I think AI is going to change everything for everyone. But here is my advice here. You are not going to be replaced as a DJ by AI. AI is not going to replace you. But you might be replaced by another DJ who's figured out how to use AI in order to be a better DJ. So just hold that thought. I think we're going to be hearing and seeing a lot more about AI. I mean, AI is a very interesting one, isn't it? I'll tell you how we use AI here at Digital DJ Tips. I use AI to tidy up written work. So I'll spend a long time making a really big piece of work, and then I'll say to AI, can you just check this? It saves me checking it, and it'll find the spelling errors and put the paragraphs in and stuff and things like that. I just find it a massive time saver in that respect. If I get sent a press release, like press releases, do you know what a press release is, by the way? I mean, like I said earlier, I was a journalist back in a very earlier day. Press releases where a company will send out, normally no pictures, lots of small type, a huge document that's been through about 8 committees. You know, the boss has looked at it, and the marketing department have looked at it, and the technical department have looked at it, and the customer department have looked at it, and the sales department have looked at it. And it ends up being this long thing that tells you about a new product. And let me tell you, when DJ companies put out new product PR, it's quite often, I mean, we call it burying the lead, because you'll read this thing, you'll think, I haven't even figured out what's new here. God, I mean, you think, oh, right, they're doing this. Well, why? You know, why? It's full of words like amazing and fantastic and brand new and it's going to change everything. You're like, but how? And you read and read and read, and it does you. You've only got, I believe you've only got so much every day, right? You've only got so much up here to give, and then you're just a jelly. And I'd prefer to use that for you people. I prefer to use that to make great training on stuff like this. I don't want to be dissecting press releases just to find what the story is. So I'll take, you know, the 1,000 words of small type stuff that I've been sent. No offense to people who write press releases, but you know yourselves, the boss wants this and they want that and they want that now. I'll take it, I'll chuck it into AI and I'll say, can you just give me the 5 things I need to know about this? And it will spit out something. I'll go, all right, yeah, cool, yeah, excellent. Bang, there's my news story. So I use it to save time. But from a DJ's point of view, you can use it, for instance, to get playlists, to get ideas for playlists. You can put songs in and ask it about songs. And there's something that I recommend anyone does is to go to an AI and start typing in, you know, I am playing a wedding for over 50s in Kansas. Some of them came from New York. The bride's family are from New York. Who else? Could be another bride, could be 2 grooms, whoever. The other partner, his family is from, you know, Mexico. Can you give me a suggestion of playlists that will cross over between these 2 people? Now, it's not going to get it right. And the big mistake is saying, I'm going to do what AI told me, because you don't know where AI is getting this from. And ultimately, it's a big language model. It's not an intelligent, sentient thing. But it is going to give you lots of starting points. And from there, you can probably get to what you want quicker. So use AI to save time would be my advice. But how that's going to come up in DJing, it's already coming up in things like beat gridding. So Pioneer DJ has got beat gridding in its record box software. It's got a setting where it will attempt to kind of guess when the beats are moving around a bit. In other words, for rock and funk and soul and so on. And so it does a better job first time. That's just off the top of my head one idea. Stems relies on AI to try and figure out what the voice is in a recording and then just try and isolate it. There's a lot of AI going on inside Stems, just to give 2 examples. So yeah, I think AI is one of the ways forward, definitely isomatic. Was it Isomatic who asked that? No, it was Jillowbird, sorry, Jillowbird. Right, so Ray says it's funny how these big room DJs are talking about what's real DJing when they throw cakes and do air DJing all the time. Well, look, there's a big spectrum of DJs. Every year here at Digital DJ Tips, we have a kind of meeting of the team and we say, what are we going to concentrate on next year? What's next year's kind of key phrase going to be for us? We normally come up with 1 or 2 key phrases. Funnily enough, this one, there's never been a better time to start DJing, was our key phrase in 2022. But hey, it's got even better. And our one next year, I think, is going to be something along the lines of, you know, forwarding the art of DJing, because DJing is an art and DJs are seen as a joke sometimes, and we think that's unfair. So I think that might be something about the way we kind of conduct our business in the next year. This is from Mixmaster G. Hello, my friend. James Hype recently posted a video about pre-recorded sets at festivals. It must be seen as a reply to Dead Mouse's ridiculous post. I haven't got time to read that stuff, I've got to be honest, but thank you for bringing our mind to it. So You Don't Like My Music said Technics 1200s were over £1,000 brand new. Mine was 600 each, pounds, UK pounds, but yeah, it's probably about $1,000. And you needed two, you did need two. Paul, I started out as an AV lighting tech before I jumped ship. My first deck was a Mixtrack Pro mapped to Tractor, and I used Mixmeister. I had two PA systems and I had to sell them during COVID. So yeah, well, thanks for your history there. My question is how to handle Karen and Davos. Davos, am I getting some culture thing from the States that I don't understand? I know what Karens are, but well, Paul's over on Facebook, so if you want to start a conversation there about Paul's point, please do chat underneath on the Facebook comments. So this comment is an interesting one. Guilherme says, I think the next step is to use AI to use cloned voices, timbres, etc. So DJs on the fly can use, for example, the sound of a Nirvana drum set in a Dua Lipa song. Well, you can actually already do that, but yeah, that makes sense. It's definitely the way forward to use stems creatively. People get overwhelmed looking at mixing gear. All you need to learn is how one of the channels works, says You Don't Like My Music. Look, this is true. People get really overwhelmed with modern DJing gear. As I say again, it's why we make these training tutorials for the big pieces of gear. But we talked about this, we were talking about this very recently, I think it was probably Tuesday on our live show. It doesn't matter what DJ gear you're looking at, whether you're looking at this, or whether you're looking at this, or whether you're looking at just a more basic DJ controller like this, or whether you're looking at a DJ app on your phone. There's only 4 things you need. Think about 2 turntables and an old-fashioned mixer. Here's an old-fashioned mixer. This mixer is the first mixer I ever had. It's a little Technics mixer. So imagine 2 analog turntables connected to this, right? What are the 4 main points? Well, you've got 2 music sources with a variable speed, right? Which is exactly the same on modern gear as 2 turntables like this with 2 jog wheels with a variable speed. You've got a way of mixing between them, right? So you can blend them together. You've got the ability to plug in headphones, so you can hear something that the audience isn't hearing, to prepare it, to make sure it's in time, etc. And you need to plug in some speakers so the audience can hear that other thing, that kind of main output that you want them to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. So when you look at gear like this, with all its incredible features, you're looking for those 4 things. And if you can master those 4 things, even if the last time you touched any DJ gear was 50 years ago, you're good to go. The rest of it is optional, because 90% of DJing is the right music in the right order for the people in front of you. The rest of it is icing on the cake. And you could throw the cake if you're going to get really crazy. But ultimately, it's those 4 things. You learn to do that well, you're in. It's always been that way, and it always will be that way. So take heart in that if you're daunted by modern gear. Thank you, You Don't Like My Music, for sharing that. So this is from Mike on Facebook. I'm a bit confused, says Mike. I purchased one of your courses months ago called Mixing Power Skills, which I think is for more advanced people. It is, well, it starts off at a reasonable level, but yes, it does get quite advanced, Mike. I am still keeping it. When I logged into my account, I can't see it. I can see other stuff as well. So, right, okay, Mike, this is a question about using Digital DJ Tips, using your account and our courses. Let me give you a massive piece of advice here, Mike, and anyone else who's interested in knowing about this stuff. You've got 2 ways. The easy way is to go to digitaldjtips.com, go to the little chat box in the bottom corner. Hi, I'm a customer. Enter what it is you want to talk about. We'll get back to you. Another way is inside every course there is a contact us. So please just use that to ask questions. My team and I here, there's 7 people full-time at Digital DJ Tips, plus we have the web team and the server infrastructure people and et cetera. But the 7 people full-time, 2 of them, their only job is to keep you students happy, to keep everyone on the page, to make sure everyone's got the right courses, to make sure they're understanding it, they're getting the help they need, etc. On top of that, when they can't help you, when it's something to do with, I can't get the button on the beat gridding on my on my Opus Quad to work. I load a track and the button on the beat greeting doesn't work. What is that? And they're all scratching their heads. Then it gets passed to me and Steve, and then we will reply to you and help you with that. So look, between our two dedicated customer service people and Steve and myself as tutors, we really are there to help you. So please, if you are a student of ours, do not fail to reach out. So Mike, thank you for asking on Facebook, but use the in-course channels there because you'll come straight to us. However, I saw you there, so that's good. Right, this is from, Paul says car park raves. God, I remember car park raves. I remember seeing Sasha playing at the service station, and service station, for those of you in other parts of the world, here in the United Kingdom, the service stations are on what we call the motorways, you might call the freeway, where, you know, on each side, each lane, you have the petrol and the restaurant and all that. I remember seeing Sasha DJing out of a car boot at 4 in the morning after playing at Shelley's in Stoke-on-Trent, must have been 1992, on 2 decks that were set up, car open, speakers, decks. They were the days, car park raves. So awesome. This is from DJ JD. We were talking about sync, weren't we? And we were talking about all the features on here that are designed to help you DJ better. And DJ JD says, I can see why some would think things like sync and key match are cheating because they had to walk where those who are newer to this art can run. But like anything else, adapt, evolve, or get left behind. I agree completely. I mean, look, the funny thing is, here's a really interesting thing to chew over. When we started out as DJs, we had, as I said, really cheap belt drive turntables and stuff, and then we could afford good turntables, and then we ended up with the chance to you know, graduate to CD players where we got looping, and then it all went to USB, and then controllers arrived, and then you know, standalone units with all that stuff from controllers arrived, and computers, and then we could do it on our iPads, and then we could do it on our phones, and every new thing we were like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, have you seen this, have you seen this, have you seen this? Nowadays, and I think this is great, by the way, nowadays a lot of people take up DJing on their phone. They'll get DJ on their phone, DJ app, Tidal, bang, oh look, I'm DJing. And then they'll think, you know what, I'd like something a bit better than a phone. So they'll end up with something like this, right? Plug it in, wow, this feels better, I can do this. I feel a bit silly in public on one of these, I want something a bit better. So a couple of years later, they might buy something like this and feel quite good in public, playing on their gear, right? And then because they are diligent students and they want to learn, they might say, you know what, I really want to learn exactly what they use in clubs. So they might graduate to this kind of gear and learn how to do exactly what club DJs do on the same gear club DJs do. James Hype's journey, by the way, I've just described it exactly. James Hype had exactly this journey. He went from messing around to Serato to club gear, and now he's got his own way of DJing with samplers and all kinds of stuff. But anyway, but at that point, a lot of our crowd, a lot of our DJs, when they've got that far, they say things like, you know what, I watch Jazzy Jeff sometimes and I really, really want to learn how to do it with this stuff. How do you even take this out the sleeve? How are you meant to handle this? How do you know how to play with this? How do you know when there's no waveforms, how it's done? And please, will you teach me to DJ on vinyl? So they've gone in reverse. They've literally gone in reverse to the way we did it. It's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? But I think it's righteous because people want to learn. What did I do? Where did the sleeve for that go? Did the sleeve fall away somewhere? You probably saw that and I didn't. Must be over there somewhere. Anyway, don't tell me off, but I'll put it back in the cardboard and find it later. So, look, the point is, it's good to learn the old ways. It's good to learn how it's been done in the past. We always encourage you to learn manual beat mixing, for instance. You can learn manual beat mixing on anything. You can do it on your phone because it'll help you if you haven't got a good beat grid, if your songs are out of sync, etc., etc. But ultimately, times have moved on and we should be using all the tools of DJing to do a better job because you can't DJ on 4 decks with different stems on each deck, looping stuff up, adding effects, doing all the kind of cool stuff that you can do in modern gear and expect to hold everything in beat the old way. You know, it doesn't make sense. So I think the key is learn everything if you can. Best DJs are really curious. It does actually bring me on to another point because people often say, why haven't you got a course about how to DJ on the Flex 4? Or why haven't you got a course on how to DJ on insert name of piece of DJ gear here? And that's ridiculous. That's like saying, can you teach me how to drive in a Nissan Micra? Or can you teach me how to drive in a Range Rover Evoque? It's like, well, yeah, but as soon as you can do it in that, you can do it in anything. DJing is not about the piece of gear. DJing is about the 4 things I just told you: knowing how to program, knowing how to perform, understanding the technology, understanding gain staging, understanding everything about the art of DJing. What you use, it's right down there in importance. So that's why our courses are not about individual pieces of gear, just to answer a question we get quite a lot. The old guard will always resent the new technology. It never changes. I think you're probably right there. Right, what else are we saying over on the chat? By the way, if you've just joined us, we've been talking about why now is it's never been a better time to learn DJing. Our reasons are: number 1, the legends are still doing it, and the best of them will actually teach you. Number 2, the big tech leap has happened. The gear's kind of stabilized. Now is a great time to get on board and know that you're not going to be out of date in like 18 months. As was the case 5 years ago. Number 3, it's never been easier. The music, the gear, the techniques, everything's set up for you to learn quickly. Number 4, there are amazing learning resources, both free and paid for, out there. And number 5, DJing is now finally bigger than clubs. Whether you want to DJ at home for fun, whether you want to make mixtapes, private parties, live stream, whether you want to play in every size of venue, from the tiniest to the biggest, it's all out there for you in a way it never used to be. Never been a better time. And look, you only have to look in the window of your local music shop to realise DJing has arrived, because there, alongside the drums and the saxophones and the guitars, there's always a bit of DJ gear, right? So there you go. Right, DJ Sarah Hall, I'm old school. I also learned to DJ on crappy belt drive turntables and a realistic mixer. Tandy, we miss you. But I still have a pair of Technics, and I love doing vinyl sets. But I also have a Prime 4, an SC6000s, and I love the digital age. It's the best way to be, and I totally agree that is my approach as well. So cool. Right, 1 or 2 more comments, then I've got to get out of here today, folks. Thank you very much for being here, as ever. It's lovely to have you all here, and it's lovely to see what you think about this stuff. It's always heartwarming, and I also do love the way everyone chats away in there. It's like I'm almost like looking in on your conversations, which is really cool. I heard a comedian called Leslie Jones, says Kesha, on YouTube, say this: you should put your faith in what it is you can do, and if you make a mistake, you can always go back. The same thing can be said about DJing. Oh wow, that's so true. Look, if you do anything, you're going to get it wrong. If you do anything, you're going to make mistakes. I'm from Manchester in England. I moved away from Manchester in England with my girlfriend, now my wife, when I decided that I wanted to stop DJing professionally, which was in 2006, and just take a break. I'd been DJing like literally 5-6 nights a week for 13 years at that point. I wasn't happy anymore. I needed a break, right? So we just decided to leave, because if I'd stayed there, I'd have carried on doing it. It was too easy. The money was too good. So we left. And we sat in a little cold flat in Malaga in the south of Spain one February and said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do here? And we learned to teach English for a living. And we were rubbish English teachers, but we made lots and lots of mistakes. And we slowly, kind of like for a year, were teaching our language to foreign students. But I remember, you know, what it was like for us while we were teaching them, learning their language. And the story I always tell is I was in a market, because we were very poor at the time. I was in a market, or rather we were scared that we weren't going to ever earn any money ever again. So we were saving every penny we had. I was in a market trying to buy some chicken, which is pechuga, or pechuga de pollo. It's chicken breast in Spanish. And I ordered lechuga, which means lettuce. So I was asking I went up to a butcher's and said, have you got any lettuce, basically? You can make another big mistake ordering chicken, by the way. You can call it polla instead of pollo, but I'll let you Spanish speakers snigger about that one. Look, the butcher laughed at me, but guess what? I learned, and I learned because I made a mistake. We always learn from our mistakes. We learn from our mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not learning. So as a DJ, I'll give you 2 bits of advice. 1, get out there early and play. Now, I don't mean get into big venues and stuff, but if you want to be my guest, do it early. Live stream, mixtapes, play for your friends, throw a party. Because you're going to make loads of errors and you're going to learn so much from those errors. That is how you grow as a DJ. So get out there and make mistakes is my first piece of advice. My second piece of advice is nothing's ever perfect. Nothing's ever perfect. If you strive for perfection, you're never going to get progress. It's just a fact of life. I don't think Digital DJ Tips has ever done any course that we're fully happy with, has ever put out any video we're fully happy with, hey, has ever done a live stream we're fully happy with. But if we didn't get up and do it every day, nothing had happened, right? You make your change in the world not by being perfect, but by caring and turning up, right? So look, think about the most meaningful conversations you've ever had in your life, right? With doctors, with parents, with partners, with your kids. No one had practiced that conversation. No one was working from a script. No one was trying to be perfect. What you did was turn up and care, right? And then in among the bumbling and the messing around, the great stuff came out. It's the same with DJing. You turn up with a mission and with tunes you want to play and with something you want to say, and you do the job. Look, it doesn't matter if the car hits the curb or you forget to stick the indicators on, and you drive a bit faster or a bit slower, it's a bit bumpy in the back. You're going to get from where you started to where you want to go. And guess what? If people see that you're committed, they're going to love the journey with you. It's true. It's absolutely true. So thank you very much for that comment there. I agree completely. Okay, let's get one or two more of your comments then before we go. I think, says Dr. Clara, AI will get better and better at mixing, but it can never be a performer. AI can never look at a crowd and think what they need now is Smells Like Teen Spirit by Nirvana when you've been playing minimal house for an hour and a half. No AI will ever do that. But if you get that inkling, if you get that tingling feeling, thinking, oh my God, those guitars are going to sound, this lot, look at their faces, they're going to go mad. That's DJing. That's not AI. Right, so Wayne says, do DJing and music production for yourself, and if someone else enjoys what you do, see it as a bonus. The greats always start out through the love of music. And you know what? I'm going to leave it there. So anyone else who's commented, thank you very much. You'll continue chatting among yourselves on YouTube and Facebook, but that really sums it up for me. So thank you, Wayne. Do DJing and music production for yourself, and if someone else enjoys what you do, see it as a bonus. The truth is, this is a great hobby, but if you're not doing it from the heart, if you're chasing money, if you're chasing fame, if you're chasing girls or boys, good luck to you, but you ain't going to be doing it in 10 years' time. If you're doing it from the heart, you're doing it because you are a DJ. Back to the Spanish language, there are two verbs in Spanish for the verb to be, ser and estar. Estar is short term, it's the result of something. Hey, I bumped my arm and now it hurts. That would be estar. Ser is who you are. It's your essence. And when you talk about being a DJ, no one uses estar. They all use ser. I'm a DJ. And the same with any noble profession. And I've always loved that about the Spanish language, because they see that your job is it's your mission. It's not just something to take lightly. And when your job is your craft and your art as well, there you go. Right, thank you very much for joining us. There's never been a better time to start DJing. Yes, you should start right now. And we have got our Black Friday sale on all of our DJ courses. Every single one, minimum 35% off, maximum 45% off. There's never been a better time. With our DJ courses, you can buy them now, you pay once, and then you can take them whenever you want. You don't just get the course, you get personal access to me and Steve and the team. So start when you want, end when you want. Your courses are yours for life, including all future updates, but we never have a bigger sale than our Black Friday sale. So unless you want to wait until November 2024, go take a look at that now. digitaldjtips.com and click the big Black Friday link. Thank you again, everyone, from the studio here. Have a lovely weekend. I'll see you next Tuesday for another Tuesday live lesson. Get good, get out there, make the moments. Till next time, bye-bye.